Over the last 9 years since I started my first business, I have made every mistake possible. And in this video, I'm going to go over the main 3 things that will allow you to get ahead and avoid the mistakes that I not only made myself, but see hundreds of people making. So my name is Adam Power, and over the last 9 years, I've launched my own agency. And in that space of time, I've helped over 150 people sign their first or next client, breaking bottlenecks and getting to the next level. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do, how to think, operate and behave, and systems to install to break through using these main 3 keys. Now, the first point, which is by far the most important point, and this is something I learned from my own mentor, who is Bob Proctor, and that is that your business will never outgrow your identity. If you see yourself as someone who has 10 clients, the possibility of you having 20 or even 30 clients is going to be completely off the table. So you have an identity gap. Now, going back to myself personally, I have been stuck at ceilings for huge periods of time and getting more and more frustrated every single day. And it was not until I understood that I have a self-image, I have an identity inside myself internally that is controlling everything that's happening externally. What I attract, the people who I speak to, the clients that I'm ready to take on. And until I'm actually able to move my identity and go inside and become the person today, make myself ready for that next level of growth, it's impossible for me to break through that ceiling and get to that next level. So how do we change our identity? We first of all have to sit down and understand where we are. We can never get to the next point. We can never get to the destination we want to go until we understand where we are. Think about it like this. You log into Google Maps and you're trying to get to a destination. How can that runway come if you don't know where you're starting from? If you don't know your current point, you can never get the roadmap to get to your destination. Now, you might sit there and see, what is my current starting point? Look at your external. Look at where you are. Look at the habits that you have. Look at the ceiling that you have. That is where you are. Now, once we get the vision clear of who we need to become, from day one, from today, from tomorrow, we have to start stacking evidence to prove to ourselves that we are now that new person. There's going to be an old frequency that's going to be attached to you that you need to get rid of. It's going to be stuck. It's like an entity that's stuck on you. I had this for so many years, and that's why I ended up being so frustrated with every single ceiling that I was stuck and I could never break through. Until I actually understood this concept that I learned from Bob Proctor, I was able to start stacking that proof every single day. Because ask yourself right now, if you're someone who's making 10K a month with 10 clients, and you want to be someone who's making 30K a month with 12 clients or 15 clients, what does that person have? What does that person do? What does that person operate? What does he build? And when you sit down and understand, first of all, yes, there's a gap, but secondly, we can start closing that gap from today. Because that new person that you need to become consistently throughout the way is about stripping away your old identity and installing and stacking that new belief that allows your subconscious mind to believe, hey, this is safe and we're actually doing this. Now, when I was first starting my business, I was speaking to people over the first 6 to 9 months. And in 2017, this information was so less accessible to what it is today. So it's been an invisible blockage for me for so many years. But during that time frame, I didn't put the work in on my own identity. I didn't put the work in on myself. In regards to what I'm speaking to you guys about today. So when I'm speaking to a business, I had a lingering unconscious thought that I'm not worthy of charging what the value that I'm bringing to that business. So I was able to speak to people, and I was so terrified of mentioning $1,000 or $2,000 a month. I was going around the place, just taking on lower tier clients for so many years. If I had done this work internally and actually it gave myself confidence in regards to what I'm actually doing and allow myself to become worthy to express my own value to the clients that I was speaking with, my business would have grown twice as quick in half the time. Step number 2 that will allow you to grow or multiply your business in 2026 is by designing the system, your internal signature system. Now, what is a system? Okay, a system is a word that's everywhere, but let's actually break it down for service-based businesses, especially in 2026. Your system starts with your offer. What is the outcome for the specific person that you work with that solves a specific problem, creates a specific outcome that they will pay a specific premium for? Once you have that, now that's the core seed planted in the business. Now we can build the system all around that, because I see so many people, just like I did for nearly 4 years, and wonder why I was frustrated. I was selling services. Okay, I was selling services because no one ever sat me down and taught me this stuff. Okay, so I was selling services for so many years, and the most frustrating thing was, hey, I'm going to do a way better job than someone else, but I'm competing on price in the marketplace. Why? Because I didn't have my business built and systemized and repeatable for a specific driven outcome for a specific person that will pay a specific premium for. So when I'm speaking to anybody trying to grow my business, and yes, I'm trying to niche down, yes, I'm trying to find my ICP and my ideal client profile, but until I actually had that repeatable system in place, I was never able to get ahead. Okay, and I'm stuck at these low fees. I'm stuck at these partnerships I'm trying to make myself more valuable. You're trying to cling on to this partnership to get another 90 days out of a contract. Okay, that is a very, very difficult place to be, and it's a very, very difficult way to grow a business. So as of today, we need to get clarity. Okay, the system can only be built from clarity. Who is our clients? What outcome do we create for them? And how can we make the most repeatable, bulletproof, amazing system that will achieve that specific outcome for them day by day, week by week, month on month? Okay, once we do that, now we're able to actually start acquiring those dream clients. Our messaging hits, our sales process is dialed in, and we're able to attract, our new identity is able to attract these people that want to come into our funnel, they want to speak with us, and they want to actually become clients. So your job today is to get clarity and build that system. This exact solution is in every successful founder that I've spoken to. They have this system almost in a conveyor belt. Okay, I used to work in factories. As I said, I got fired from many, but in the factory, they were obviously billion-dollar companies like healthcare companies. Inside these companies, there is a bulletproof conveyor belt. Okay, on step 1, step 2, all the way down to step whatever, there's a system in place. So the most productive thing you can do after you find your ICP and your outcome is figure out, how can we extrapolate this, put it into a conveyor belt system where this happens day 1, this happens day 5, this happens day 14, and so on and so forth. Make your business into anywhere from 3 to 6 steps that allows that outcome at the end to be created. Now, when you're speaking to a client and you're solely driven, hey, my 6-step solution creates this outcome for this ICP, straight away, they're more inclined to speak with you, and what's happening is a beautiful partnership is on the verge of merging. Once you're able to fulfill, and once you're able to actually manage that relationship so that the outcome is actually delivered. So, second action point for today, write down your ideal client profile. Who exactly do we work with? Okay. Next, create your signature system. Put it into 3 to 6 steps. Name it, call it something, coin it, make it yours, and make your outcome statement. Have a statement to say, hey, this is exactly the outcome that you get from working with us. I'll tell you guys a funny story. My old mentor said to me, Adam, the best salesperson I ever met was a fisherman in a town. And basically what he did was he went out fishing from 4 a.m. till 10 a.m. And then he walked around the town asking people, do you want fish? Okay, if someone said no, they did not want fish, he would say, God bless you, have a nice day. If someone said, yes, I do want fish, he asks them, hey, are you planning to eat fish someday this week? Because I have some beautiful fresh fish here for sale. Okay, if they said yes, then he starts that process. Okay, so the outcome here is speaking to that individual person with exactly what they want. And if someone is not ready for that outcome, that is not a client of yours. Which leads me into phase 3. When I became aware of this third point, my business doubled overnight. And that third point is the freelancer trap. When you're doing all the work, you're selling time, energy, and effort. This is where you need to get out of the freelancer trap. My old mentor sat me down before and he said, Adam, in order for you to get to the next level, you need to make a decision. You either do all the work or you do none of the work. Now, doing none of the work means you transition from operator into architect. And you architect by owning the most bulletproof system every single day that gets the work done. That you get the work done by becoming a leader, hiring great people, and fulfilling from a place where you know the exact outcome that you're achieving for clients based on these bulletproof steps that you've created. So once you're able to actually get out of that freelance trap, you can start compounding everything that you're doing. Now, that means hiring, not in the future, not when you're ready, now. Start the process now. Who do you need to hire and who do you need to work with to start building your team to make sure your signature system is being installed into every partner that you work with so they can get the best possible outcome that they're willing to pay a premium for every single month, okay? When I go back to hiring that first client success manager or fulfillment manager that I did back in 2019, that was a very, very, very scary time for me because it was something that I was so unused to. No one in my family had ever had an employee before, so I didn't know how to manage that. I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know how to piece everything together. But all I knew that I needed to do was to break that fear barrier and get that person in. Now, what started happening from that day? The system that I was able to build from that moment in time allowed me to get to that next level because I was able to open up the doors and work with bigger and better clients. The confidence that I had in my system was able to be transferred because the person who was fulfilling the work on my behalf was, first of all, a great friend of mine, and second of all, someone who I trusted, and every single day we were making it better. Because let me tell you, you might have all the desire in the world to create that exact outcome for your ICP, for your ideal clients. But if your time, energy, and effort is focused on building your identity, building your business, making sure your systems are built, making sure your offer is correct, making sure you understand the market, you're not fully focused on the fulfillment, which means your standards will drop, which means the results for the partnership will also drop. Your new identity is focused on becoming an architect of your business, which means you're escaping that freelancer trap and you have an operator coming into the business that allows them to fulfill every single day. When someone's in the business using your exact system that you designed as an architect, they're able to focus 100% on their attention during working hours on making sure that system is running, all cogs fired, all systems in place for that to become an amazing system. Communication is key, and all your clients that you're working with are getting the most amazing service because the full attention of that operator is on their business. We have clients within my agency now that are here for over 5.5 years. And when they're working with us for 5.5 years, that means the results are there. That means the partnership is mutually beneficial from day one, and the outcome that we're creating is way more valuable than what they're paying for the service fee every single month. So you need to be focused on that outcome, and you architect that overall system, escape that freelance trap, and install that new identity that will allow you to become the best version of yourself, break limiting beliefs, attract what you need to attract, and actually stack that evidence every single day for you to become the next version of you, which is the founder who 5X's the business in 2026. I have hundreds of resources on this that are all within my community. There's 2 sections where you're at in the business. And these systems here you can implement today, and they would allow your business to really start growing and activate that compound effect in 2026. Now, I can't reiterate, and why it's number 1, how important it is to install that identity. I know it's a big trend on YouTube right now. I've been studying this stuff since 2017, and it's only the last couple of years where I've really been able to go deep and actually have action points every single day. Because just having this stuff stored in your conscious mind is not going to actually implement change. What's going to make change is understanding the formula to actually allow you to have day-to-day action steps to be able to actually improve your identity, bring yourself to where you need to go, start operating as that man or that woman in 2026, and the goals will always follow. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Comment below if you felt that this was valuable and what you'd like to see next.